Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Solstice message. I'm Renee Feeler, and welcome. Let me close a couple other windows just to make sure that I don't get any other distractions. And we are all kind of dialed in together. Okay, that should be good. All righty, let's get started. Okay, let's take a couple nice deep breaths. Okay, very good. All right, I just want to invite you all to relax a little bit, let your brain be obviously active and involved, but also maybe let your brain be curious about hearing something new and having a new perspective and new ideas for how you operate yourself, how you consider what you're capable of, and maybe how you rethink some of the things that you have been I want to use the word pretending, maybe just to be a bit contentious in a way, but maybe some of the things that you are acting as if they're true, maybe pretending that they're true. Anyway, as we give you some new insight. So with this solstice, with this June solstice, what I keep wondering about is how we underestimate ourselves and how we maybe going along on a certain path and we forget that we created the path that we're on. There's a completely different way that you can operate yourself, that you can think about yourself, that you can think about others. And we have such an amazing pattern as humans to underestimate what we're capable of. And I feel like that's the power of the message today is giving yourself more credit. You have gotten yourself through some intense situations in your life, and here you are. There are probably many layers of you that didn't know if you'd make it to this day, that didn't think that you'd be able to accomplish what you've accomplished, that didn't believe that you'd have the courage in yourself to create what you've created. That's pretty wild. And isn't it amazing how within our human journey, we can continuously sort of skip over those monumental facts and evidence that we've created for ourselves. Okay. So wherever you're starting to feel maybe uncertain or just unclear about what you want to be or where you want to kind of point yourself next, you didn't have all the answers in how you got here. You didn't have full clarity in what you've already accomplished and what you're already proud of. It's okay to not be clear. Don't let your brain twist you up into thoughts that you have to have clarity before you move forward, or you're missing something because you aren't 100% certain or feeling 100% confident in maybe what you want to build next or what you want to be next. There we go. Okay. I love where we're starting off. Okay. So how do we move forward without courage? For a lot of us, courage comes after the fact. And applying the courage you've gained through all the other experiences of moving beyond obstacles, creating something that wouldn't even be in this reality were it not for you. That's courage that you should be applying to whatever you want next, or you're curious about creating next. Apply that courage to this uncertainty. Apply that courage, that confidence to this. That courage and that confidence that wasn't about that situation, that wasn't about that goal. That was about you. And you were a part of this next goal. You are a part of this next phase. You are actually the biggest, most important ingredient about whatever you are next. And whatever 10 years from now, you look back on and say, wow, I did it. Or wow, I got through it. Or wow, how could I have possibly underestimated myself? Okay, very nice. So this confidence is something that you've already did, and I'm just asking you to bring it forward to this moment, to where you need it now, wherever you need it now. Okay. I'm going to ask you to connect with any part of you that is being hard on yourself, that you can't do it, or somebody else is going to be better at it. Whatever that is, whatever your goal, whatever your objective is right now. Okay. I like this. Isn't it funny how the brain can be looking at others that might be able to do something better or may have gotten started way before you did, and how the brain can, again, underestimate you and your unique ability to do something very unique and very special in your own unique way. Okay, just because somebody else has done something that you want to do doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, doesn't mean you shouldn't try it. Doesn't mean that that person has solved the problem for everybody or addressed the need for everybody. We really won't know who's going to show up for what you create until you explore that creation further. Okay, good. Yeah. I'm also feeling led towards those situations where you may have been trying really, really hard for a long time at trying to make something work, at trying to make something take off and really succeed, and it just hasn't. So we're going to be lovingly blunt and honest with you about those situations. How much more of yourself are you going to invest in that thing? How much relief might you feel if you were to just set it down for a while and not try so hard and not dedicate so much of yourself to it? What if you gave yourself a little 3-day or even 30-day break from trying to make that thing happen and just see how it feels? There are so many instances of things that humans want to succeed that just don't happen. And even if they've given 10 years of their life to something, when they decide to, if you decide to give up on that temporarily or permanently, it is very humbling to notice how sometimes it's like no one even cares. No one even notices, and you are dedicating so much of yourself to make something happen. It can be very, like I said, humbling, soul crushing. It's not technically soul crushing, but it can feel soul crushing at times when there might be something that you just give up on, and it's like no one even noticed that you stopped trying. No one missed it. And maybe more importantly, maybe you don't even miss it. Just because it was a good idea doesn't mean there was any destiny that it was going to happen. Just because you dreamed it doesn't mean that you can make it a success or make it a reality. I know. I wanted those things to be true too, for you as well. And it can be a somber sort of situation, and there might even be grief involved, and you might be confused about who and what you are if you are feeling led to explore giving up on something that you've been trying to make happen. But what you are likely to find is that you have a lot of your life back. You have a lot of your energy. You may even have some of your financial resources back in your hands because you've been dedicating so much of those things as well to the success of that dream or that goal or that objective. Okay. So by putting it to rest and maybe giving up or giving in to the reality of the situation, you may find yourself unoccupied a little bit, but what a great time to be curious about what else you want to explore and create or support Um, yeah, I do feel that. This group has a tendency to reinvent the wheel. This group has a tendency, especially the visionaries and the pioneers that are here, to, it's almost like unless we build it ourselves, it's like it doesn't happen, when what we could have done from the very beginning is just join forces with somebody else. Or if you really felt passionately about something being in this world, looking around to see who else has already started this, who already has, a great handle on this, and maybe even, amazing success. um, you didn't have to rebuild something alongside that. You could literally just ask how you can support them, ask if there's anything else you can do, support them on social media with likes and comments. You didn't have to create something totally different and separate from what somebody else is already doing, that's similar enough that you can feel good that whatever need that was in this reality, it's being taken care of. It may just not be being taken care of by you. And notice the maybe the ego, which to me is not a negative part of us. The ego is just the storyteller. And if you give it a good story that wants win-win solutions, it can be really healthy part of your system in this reality. So your ego might be bruised a little bit. The storyteller might be, but I wanted it to be me. I wanted mine to be better, and I had better ideas. And why didn't mine work? And why did theirs work? And I wanted mine to win, or mine was better, whatever that is. Just let that part of you maybe be disappointed that it just may not happen, and it's okay. Maybe their timing was better than yours. It's all right. You were not a failure just because something you wanted to make happen didn't happen. That doesn't mean you're a loser. But you may make things harder on yourself by regularly building things from scratch. Yeah. So that's kind of funny that what's coming to me is that maybe everyone that's watching or listening to this has a pattern of doing that. So just watch out for yourself. I can definitely count myself in that camp as well. So I'm kind of giggling at myself as well, because it's so hard to do something from scratch when it's not necessary. And there's so many other ways to support change and support progress and authentic evolution in this reality. So, okay. So big hugs to those of you that have tried to reinvent wheels. Yeah, there's a lot of wheels that could be made better. You don't have to start from scratch. Okay, the next part that I want to address here. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a little quiet for a moment while I feel into this part. Okay. For those of you that it's not that you've tried to reinvent the wheel, it's not that you've been hard on yourself, it's that this reality can be very, very frustrating when things don't go the way you want them to. When things don't go the way you feel like they should be going, when people aren't responding to something that is better, maybe than something else. Just give yourself the compassion and the grace to be frustrated, to be disappointed. There may not be anything that you're missing. There may not be anything that you're doing wrong. It might just be exactly what it is. There may not even be a lesson for you to learn. This reality can be very frustrating and very disappointing, and very unsatisfying in a lot of ways. So again, for the pioneers, for the visionaries, it's just so helpful. This is one of the best strategies I know of. Find things that you do feel like you have more control over, and that are where you find like easy satisfaction in. That could be anything. That could be getting yourself to exercise every day. That could be like, I have control over what I eat and don't eat. I have control over how many healthy proteins I get every day. I mean, there's just so many things that you can give yourself 5 gold stars on, and just like, okay, I did that. Like I wanted to do it and I did it, and that felt good. Um, I recognize fully that it isn't as satisfying as some of those big dreams that you have and those big visions for yourself or even for humanity that you want and feel this reality deserves. You're probably right about all of that. But when it doesn't happen, or if that grand outcome doesn't happen, it's super valuable for you to have other ways of feeling meaningful and on purpose and fulfilled in other ways in your life. And that's not a step down from the grand visions. It's just a little step to the left that can keep you going every day, because your life purpose wasn't about those grand visions, but those grand visions might be what you get most excited about and what you tend to be most motivated by. Okay. But from a broader sense of self, from what I call your soulfulness, your widest range of energy that is you, the you that is you beyond this reality, the you that is you beyond this human experience that you're currently having, that range of you wanted to have a you to be, even if those grand visions were never envisioned, even if those grand visions were never pursued, even if those grand visions were never fulfilled. Because that widest range of you has a greater awareness for how difficult this reality can be and how unsatisfying pursuing something that is so grand and so visionary, how often that disappointment is the outcome. Okay, that wider range of you knows that, and that's part of my job and my passion is to remind you of those things so that you get, it's not that you get disappointed less, but you handle it better. Okay, you don't start to have an existential crisis on your hands or the verge of a depression or something like that. You can hold yourself together in a more sustainable, centered way. Okay, I think it's great to have visions. I feel like it's great to have dreams, but when we pin or attach our sense of meaning, purpose, fulfillment on those dreams being realized, that's when we start to cause major problems for ourselves. We don't have control over whether those dreams are fulfilled because we only have control of ourselves. And most of us that tend to have dreams, those dreams involve other people. They either involve investment partners, they involve clients, they involve um, adoption by a certain market segment. They involve a lot of other players that we have no control over. Might we be able to influence them? Yeah. Might we have partners that can assist in our influencing others? Yeah, that's great. But a lot of times those partners and those other key stakeholders, they don't show up. Or they're busy with other things, or they don't kind of get the vision and they don't show up like we need them to for something to go all the way through to fruition. So it's much more common in this reality for any visionary, any dreamer to have ready, consistent, frequent situations of just being like, well, damn it. You know, and when you blame yourself, you're getting in this loop. There we are. Okay, got it. The other thing that happens for visionaries and dreamers is that because they start to blame themselves, they start to fall into these potentially harmful belief patterns and ideology that, such as, we'll give an example. All of your dreams being fulfilled, it only depends on you. Your positivity, your positive thinking, your being clear of your shadows, your being fully healed and self-actualized. There's all of these belief systems that are sort of very attractive to dreamers and to visionaries. So that group, and I'm in that group, we tend to, it's easy for beings like us to find ourselves in situations where we are just um, in these really sticky energy patterns of, what did I do wrong? Where did I mess up? What else do I need to do in order to get that dream realized, right? We never question. I'm asking you to start questioning whether the problem was never you. It was just a really big dream. Your ability to dream it into this reality is not hard for someone like you. It's not hard for a visionary to think of something amazing that could happen here. But that actually happening may not even be you. Mm. Now I can sense that some of you are thinking about other people that have accomplished things that seem pretty huge. How did so and so do it? How did Joe Rogan become the #1 podcaster in the world? It wasn't by trying to be the #1 podcaster in the world. And some of you are thinking, well, that can't just happen by accident. Oh, but it does. Shit like that happens here all the time, where it wasn't a grand plan. There was no vision board. There was no positive thinking involved. They just happened to be being something or operating in a certain way or offering something that just sort of caught on. So it's interesting how when something like that happens, others that want whatever of their version of success or achieving goals or realizing dreams, it's very common for other individuals to start to, it's like reverse engineer it. Like, well, if they did it, then let me see if I can do it. Let me see if I can do the steps that they did. And surely they had a vision board. Or I know someone that promises, the realization of dreams, and I'm going to, hire them as a coach and follow their steps. And surely I'm the problem again. And if I just do this, this, and this, then I'll get there. Then I'll be that. Then I'll do that. Then I'll achieve that. That's not real. That's not real. Okay, now notice any part of you that is feeling bummed out, deflated, just like not wanting to even consider this. Just pay attention to that part of you. This next part is the most important part. I want you to imagine that you're giving that part of you a big hug. Because again, as we said, that soulful range of you, that widest range, the biggest range of you, that is actually the creator of your journey in so many ways, the creator of you that's creating this journey. That range of you is not as bummed out as you are. Why? Because it was never about that. It was never about that thing being fulfilled. Yeah, look at, I can just feel the little, not little, but the thoughts. They're not always little, but that the brain is just like, but it is about that. I want my life to be about that. I thought of that dream and it's mine, damn it, and you can't take it away from me. We're not trying to take it away from you. We're helping you detach from it in a way that if it doesn't happen, that's okay. It's normal in this reality to not have dreams fulfilled. So where else can we look for fulfillment that isn't about your dreams being realized? You can look to your present. You can look to who and what you are right now in your everyday life, in your professional life, and maybe the new things that you want to explore and be. I'm not asking you, we aren't asking you to dream less or think smaller. We're asking you to take your present you more seriously so that you can enjoy that more. There we go. Okay, yeah, I just feel like the plants got pulled out and then recentered in yourself. Okay, good. All right, that feels better. Gosh, we could talk for hours about all of these little chapters here. Okay, let's definitely address those of you that are just absolutely feel like you're facing just the most terrifying situation you could have possibly imagined. And you're not thinking about dreams, you're thinking about survival. You're thinking about how in the hell are you going to get through this? It's not about the outcome. Notice how your brain wants to make whether you make it or not, whether you get through this or not, about where you end up. And that's not what this is. Your focus is on the you that you are as you get through it. Who do you want to be that's facing this challenge? Do you want to be brave? Do you want to be strong? Do you want to be fearless? Do you want to be present? Do you want to be present enough where you have control over yourself, control over your thoughts, authority of your words and your actions and your choices on an everyday basis, and also about whatever serious is going on in your life? That's such a better way to face any challenge in your life. It's fine to know where you want to end up. And it's really, really awesome when you can give yourself more of your energy to not. It's a great move to give yourself more energy for who and what you are as you go through this challenge, instead of investing so much of your energy in, I have to make sure I get to that outcome. You don't have control over whether you get to that outcome. You have authority over the decisions you make every day about who and what you are. And that does affect the outcome, but it does not control the outcome. It doesn't dictate the outcome. Yeah. No matter how this goes, no matter how this terrifying thing ends up, source energy absolutely loves you. Source energy is concerned about you too. God loves you no matter how this goes or doesn't go. There you go. You just let it in. There you go. That was good. That was good. Now notice how you feel right now. You're locked in here, not to a scenario or to an outcome that you feel like you have to, like, I have to stay vested in that outcome that I really want. I have to stay strong in the vision. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's just have a little lobbed, kind of like a cornhole game. I don't even know if you guys know what that is. Like these little bags of sand, actually. That's not even corn in them. It's kind of a dumb name for that game. Anyway, a little sandbag. Just give your outcome hope. That's fine. But invest yourself energy, give yourself more of your energy back to who and what you are in that process. You're going to be better for yourself. You're going to be better for anyone else around you that is also concerned about whatever you're facing, or maybe they're facing it with you. Be present for them. Be present for yourself so that you can also be present for them. There we go. Okay. Okay, good. What if what you are challenged by or terrified of is actually what's going on in someone else's life? That's common in this reality. I'm a parent. I know about this with adult kids. Okay, the advice is very similar, but a little bit different. So, this is the key question we're going to ask you in this. Are you pretending that you have control over how things end up for them? It sounds different when you hear it said that way, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, my controlling type A peeps out there, how just like annoyed are you right now? Like, but I want to have control over who and what they are and how things go. Oh, yeah, just calm down. It's like a light socket kind of situation. Just take a breath. That's a game. You're playing a game that you have control over who and what they are and how their life goes. You don't get control over that. They can barely feel control over that sometimes. So what do you do instead? Now that we're asking you to no longer pretend that you have control over who and what they are or how things go in their life. So what are you going to do instead? You're going to get a hell of a lot of energy back. I guarantee you that. You're going to wish them well. You're going to choose to believe that their range of energy, that widest range of energy that helped design who and what they are, knew what they were doing. And that can allow you to believe in them, maybe even more than you did before. You can be a cheerleader, you can be an encourager, you can be an advisor. They may or may not listen to you, right? Yeah. There we go. Okay, notice if you're feeling nauseous. I admit it. There's a nauseousness in my stomach, just like, oh my God, what if it goes badly? Yeah, it might. It might. And God loves them no matter what. And you can love them no matter what. You can be there for them no matter what. You don't even have to say, I told you so, if they do something wrong. Yeah. So what are some things that you might say if you admit that you've been pretending that you have more control over them than you actually do? You may want to try this and make it age appropriate for whatever age this child is or this loved one is or whomever else we're talking about here. Some of you feel like parents to people that are not your children, right? Yeah, me too. Okay, so you may want to experiment with these words, and you may even want to write it down at some point and play with it and make it your own. I care about you. I'm concerned about you. I believe in you. You have gifts and abilities I don't have. You have skill sets and a personality type that I don't understand always. You do things differently than I would do. And I love that about you. This is your life. And I want you to know I support you and I'm here for you. And I acknowledge that this is your life. And how funny is it that there might be things in my life that you wish I was doing differently or that you're concerned about? And thank you for your concern. Let's be there for each other. But I'm not going to pretend that you need to do things any differently than how you are. This is your journey. You're the author of your life, and I am the author of my life. And I'm excited for how things could go for you. Okay. And as I offer those words, just to acknowledge if there's any part of you that doesn't believe that, where you're like, sounds great, Jill, Renee, but I don't believe in them. I don't think it's going to go okay. And I don't actually love how they do things. Okay. Okay. If that's where you are with that, then I would invite you to put those strong opinions on a piece of paper that you burn in a fire pit. Because what I can sense when someone feels that way is that they are blocking the love that they have as the godly energy that you are, that you can be for that other person. What if it's possible the last thing they need is for you to be thinking, even if you're not saying it? What if the last thing that person needs is to be picking up on the idea that you're thinking those thoughts, that you even have thoughts in your head that you never say out loud, that you don't believe in them, that you don't think they're living their life correctly, and that they're lacking some serious skills and abilities to be successful in their life? What if that's the last thing they need? What if they already know that they're got some problems or some challenges and you're just adding to it? What if your only job, what if you decided your only job instead is to hope for the best for them and to be a presence of hope and love for them, no matter what happens and no matter what they are? Too easy? Is it too easy? I mean, if you're their actual coach, if you're their actual boss, then it's different. I mean, and why would that be different if you're a parent? It's different because you're pretending that your opinion is going to make them into something different than who and what they are. And if it hasn't yet, it's probably not going to. And in the meantime, you're missing out on a chance to be there for them in a way that may make all the difference in the world. That's a fun thing to be curious about and maybe try out, right? Okay. There we go. Okay, that last little chapter, I feel like now we want to loop around and explain how, to us, this is a solstice message. The mid-year solstice is such a beautiful stillness, whether it is the first day of summer for you or the first day of winter for you. There is a pause that's just absolutely powerful, where you get to feel the stillness, not in where the sun is and relative to your placement on the planet and where you are on the axis pointing closer to the sun or further away from the sun in the sky, where you get to feel the stillness in your sphere of energy, the ball of energy that you are, acting as if this pause, this stillness, allows you to redirect, allows you to notice things you've never noticed before, allows you an amazing authorship to experiment and explore and let go and set down and re-energize, retool. There we go. Okay. I definitely encourage all of you to re-listen to this message. You're gonna get it 3 different ways. If you listen 3 different times, you're gonna feel it totally differently every single time. New things will pop out for you. That's the way we do this. That's the way this energy is stacked and layered and truly interdimensional for you. to be so many things for you, whether it's today on the solstice or 30 days from now or 30 years from now. There we go. So is this message about today? Yes. Yes, of course it is. There we go. Let's talk a little bit more about that widest range of energy. And it does connect back with where we started about humanity's ability to underestimate itself. You've never been based on how the collective is or isn't doing, ever. That would be so unfair to assess or judge you as a human on how humanity in general is doing. We would never do that. That would be ridiculous. The only assessment is going to be of you. And you might be hearing this part for the first time ever. Yeah, I feel that. We deserve to know the truth, and that's why I'm saying this. The energy signature that's doing that assessment is you. It's you at that widest range of you that we talked about. It's only you. In your most loving, wise, grace-filled range of you. And it is the one who believes in you most. It's the range of you that does know what you're capable of, while also knowing how incredibly frustrating and confusing and unclear and impossible this reality can feel sometimes. Okay, so it's a fair assessment. There will be far more times, I promise you this, there will be far more times in your assessment of you where you are reminding yourself of just how spectacular you are and were in key moments in your life and in moments that you don't even remember. Are there going to be moments where that widest range of you, I call the soulful you, it's that source energy, omnipresence, nothing but glorious godliness of you? Are there going to be moments where that godliness is like, what were you thinking? Like, why didn't you just do it? Why did you talk about it? Like for 10 years, like you never did it. And you made up excuses all along the way. Like you never even started. You never even tried. And it wasn't about doing something. It was about being something. Why didn't you let yourself be that other range of you? And I think I know what your response will be, this smaller energy profile of you. I forgot what I was. I forgot that I was the author of me. God, I got so wrapped up and obsessed in all of these other things. And I mean, all this stuff you got to do. It's like brushing your teeth twice a day. All of this stuff just exhausted me. And I overthought it. And I underestimated myself. And I got so wrapped up in, this person in my life and how they were doing. And oh my God, I needed to be there for them. It's like I was them. I was pretending I had more authority over them than I did of myself. That's so wild how that happens. And that widest range of you is going to go, yep. No shame in that game. You did it out of love. You did it out of concern. You did it out of positive intentions. There's no negative marks going against you. Isn't it a weird reality? Yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's this truth. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. Maybe it's this part of this connection that we are a source, that some of us wire ourselves in such a way where we are so hard on ourselves. Because we feel like it's going to help. We feel like it's going to help us be more for ourselves and for other people and for this world. Maybe it's because we know that widest range of ourselves is not like hard on us, that we want it to be hard on ourselves, because maybe our research, as we were curious about this reality and the time that we were born into, that it would work better for us if we were hard on ourselves. Is it working? Is it helping you trust yourself more? Is it helping you loosen up the reins? I think it's true that jockeys, horse jockeys, when they are riding the most amazing racehorses, they know to give the horse some rein. They know just the amount of tension and laxity to have on the reins to let the horse do what the horse is going to do. And what if that soulfulness is that horse? And what if you're like the jockey, where you are operating your soulfulness and maybe not trusting truly how spectacular you are, and you keep pulling back, or you never even get out of the gate. You never left. The gun went off a long time ago, and you're still at the gate going, I don't know. Where are we going again? How many times do we have to go around? What if I forget? What if I'm not ready today? Horse, are you ready? Horse is like, I was born to do this, bro. I was born to do this. Let me run. Yeah, there we go. That's fun to think about, isn't it? Where are you overthinking it? Maybe it's everywhere. Maybe it's everywhere that you are not trusting you. That soulfulness is you. You are the jockey and the horse at the same time. How crazy and wild is that? Yeah. And there's a beautiful part of that jockey that knows they may not win. They may not even place. And there's an audience. And they're getting paid for this gig. And there's a big bonus if they win. And it's embarrassing if they fail horribly or never get out of the gate. Yeah. But that soulfulness is trustworthy. The spirit that you are, the energy, the godly energy, the gloriousness, the transcendence that you are, that we are even before we were this human experience. And we are this transcendence, this majesty, this majestic energy. We are this even while we're human. We are this beyond our humanness. We are this after our human. We can't not be this. And we're also having this very weird at times human experience. It's okay if your brain is like, I don't understand what she's talking about. Isn't it wonderful? You don't have to. And so for some of you, it may be like, this is the best explanation that anybody's ever given me. And that would make my Jill, as my overachiever type, very happy if that's the case, that I've explained your human journey in a way that makes you feel like your godliness is more accessible to you, more available to you, and that you have way more options than you realized for loosening up the reins, and revisiting some patterns and rethinking some things, revisiting some key aspects of who and what you are. The biggest, I want to be very clear with these next words I offer as we're wrapping up here. The biggest choice we can make that has the largest influence on our life is something that humans rarely even notice that they are choosing. They rarely feel like they have a choice in the matter. And it's your belief systems. Your story about who and what you are, and who and what this reality is, and is there a God, and what is that God to you? And if there's not a God, then how do you want to be your best you? How do you want to be good? How do you want to be a person that you're proud of? How do you want to have integrity, doing the right thing when nobody's looking? How do you want to be that? How do you want to create that you and operate that you? And I mean, one of my values is enjoying that self. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Gesundheit. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's a big one. In the time that you and I were born into, that most important set, that is the huge, it's like the software on the firmware. Your belief systems are your software. And most of us as humans are like, well, that's what I believe. That's handed to me. Or of course that's true. We don't, so many humans don't question it, don't reevaluate it, aren't curious enough about it. It's so much, I think, better, but I'll just say this, so much different to recognize you are not your beliefs. You are the operator of your beliefs. And that is a very, very different way to live your you and to create your life. Okay? All right. I hope that was useful today. Let's take another breath. And I encourage you to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, touch your cheek, touch your knees, just making sure that this wasn't something that pulled you out of your bodysuit, up through your crown. We don't do it that way. We're helping you connect with the light that you are and cannot not be, the source energy that you are, and helping you feel a more stable system with that as your humanness. Okay? Very good. Okay. For those of you that want to listen to this again, the link that you use to get here will not work. I'm not an expert in YouTube Lives, but what I understand is the link that you use to get here, where you'll find this afterwards, or if you wanted to share that with this with others, then you go to my channel and there's little tabs, and you'd click on the channel or the tab that says live or lives. And then you'll look for this one. Okay, so this is, and then you'll get a shareable link there. If you click on that, and then there's a shareable link. Okay, thank you for doing a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this experience, if you found it useful, or even just different in a positive way that you haven't quite decided yet, thank you for doing a thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. There is so much available in the archives, the videos here. There's new courses that I offer. There's brand new retreat recordings that I've already made available actually to my membership, and I'll make available to the general public very soon. I do private sessions. I have 3 books on Amazon. I love to put together sacred travel experiences for individuals, and I'm noodling on the next one that I want to do. It takes a lot of work, as you can imagine, to put together a 5-star trip for small group travel. I take that creation process very seriously. I don't like to rush it. And oh, sorry, my ring got really loud on my table here. And there's a lot of ways that I experience myself and share myself, a lot of roles that I play in this reality as Jill. So I'm not, there's a lot of things that I do. And yes, I get distracted by the other ones. And also I really enjoy the other ones. So anyway, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, and happy solstice. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.